Hello friends, and welcome back to Auto Fix Zone. In today's video, we will be talking about the symptoms and warning signs of a failing water pump. The water pump is the primary component responsible for circulating coolant throughout the engine, and any malfunction or defect within it exposes the engine to extremely serious damage. That's why, in today's video, we'll highlight the symptoms that appear when the water pump begins to fail. Location of the water pump. In some engines, the water pump is driven by the accessory belt, commonly known as the serpentine belt, because it links several pulleys together: the alternator, AC compressor, power steering pump, and the water pump. In this case, if the serpentine belt snaps, you must not drive the vehicle at all, and you should pull over immediately. Not because the alternator will stop charging the battery, nor because the steering will become extremely heavy if it uses a hydraulic system, nor because the AC will stop working, but because the water pump will stop rotating, which will cause the engine temperature to rise extremely quickly. However, if the water pump is driven by the timing belt, then in the event of a serpentine belt failure, you can still drive the vehicle very carefully to the nearest repair shop, since only the alternator and power steering pump will stop operating, while the water pump will continue functioning normally via the timing belt. Now let's begin listing the symptoms of a failing water pump. 1. Unexplained increase in engine temperature. If you're experiencing engine overheating, despite confirming that the thermostat is working properly, the cooling system isn't clogged, the coolant temperature sensor is functioning, and the radiator fans are operating normally, but the temperature still rises without a clear reason, then the most likely cause is a failing water pump. This happens due to weak coolant circulation, caused by corroded or worn-out impeller blades, usually as a result of using tap water. We previously explained all causes of engine overheating in a dedicated video, link in the description. 2. Grinding or rough noise from the water pump area. Normally, the water pump should operate silently, but when the internal bearings begin to wear out, you'll hear a loud grinding or rough noise coming from the pump area. This is a clear warning sign right before the pump seizes, which can lead to catastrophic engine damage. 3. Coolant leakage. If you notice a significant drop in coolant level and coolant dripping underneath the vehicle, and after tracing the source you find that the leak is coming from the water pump, this indicates a failing pump or a damaged water pump gasket. This typically happens only when the pump has reached the end of its service life. 4. Weak coolant flow inside the radiator or reservoir. If you remove the radiator or reservoir cap while the engine is running before it reaches operating temperature, 90 degrees Celsius, for safety reasons, and then increase engine RPM, you should clearly see strong coolant circulation. If coolant flow remains weak regardless of engine speed and the cooling system has no blockage, this indicates a weak or failing water pump. 5. Coolant boiling inside the reservoir. Boiling coolant inside the reservoir or radiator is one of the most obvious signs of cooling system failure. But as mentioned earlier, if all components of the cooling system are functioning properly, fans operating at the correct times, no thermostat issues, no blockages, then a failing water pump is the main cause behind coolant boiling inside the reservoir or radiator. 6. Repeated head gasket failure. If your head gasket fails due to overheating, you repair it, and then it fails again repeatedly for the same reason, the water pump becomes the primary suspect. We previously explained all symptoms of a blown head gasket in a dedicated video, link in the description. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our previous videos. They will save you a lot of time, effort, and money. See you in the next video. This was Auto Fix Zone.